Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a deep dive into the world of smartphones, but with a twist this time. We're going to talk about the old classic, I guess you can call them classic now, the bar-shaped phones versus the foldables. We're going to talk about it in areas of portability, durability, functionality, and then with the truth and reality. What do I use and how do I use them? Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, I just want to say this. There's no wrong or right choice here. It's all about finding what is suitable that fits your lifestyle, whether you go foldable or bar phone. I'm just hoping that after I discuss these different areas, it can help you make the right choice if you're about to venture into one or the other field of smartphone. So let's talk portability. You know, way back when the phones first started, they were these huge bricks. And then over time, they got smaller and smaller to where they got to the point where they can fold them in clamshells so you can easily put it in your shirt pocket or your pants pocket. Well, nowadays, they've gotten a little bigger again because people want display size, but they also want them to remain portable. So as we've seen the changes throughout the years of these phones, from 3.5-inch screens to 4 to 5, now 6 and almost 7-inch screens, the question is, are they still portable? So when we look at the bar phones, you got the 6.1 or the 6.2-inch size, go all the way up to 6.7, 6.8. These are getting pretty large. But because they're slender and they're thin enough, they still fit in your pocket without a problem. So that's kind of nice. So the bar phones are still pretty much portable. And then you got these large screens, which are exactly that. They're large to give you more surface to do things on. But because of the nature of the size, they decided to make them fold, to make them more portable so they can fit in your pocket. Now this is the Surface Duo. Now if you were to go to something like the Samsung Z Fold, you can see it's actually quite a bit smaller when you fold it down. So it's even more portable and people could still slide these in the pocket. I never recommend sliding phones in the pocket, by the way. I've always put mine on a pouch. And way back in the day, they had clip pouches. I just felt it was faster to access the phone and I prefer it that way today so I don't put any undue pressure on my phone and worry about breaking the screens. So I digress. That's my little rant about cases. So you've got the foldables, which by nature are folding, that makes them portable. And then of course you have the bar phones, which are already thin enough, slim enough to go in the pocket or purse. Don't want to leave the ladies out. So in this category, I believe they're kind of tied. There shouldn't really be any preference one or the other because of portability, because they are all slim, thin, or whatever you want to call it, and they fit in your pocket or your purse, no issue. Now we go on to another category of durability. Well, now that's another issue. You know, we'll start off with the foldables. Anytime you got something that folds, there's a possibility of something going wrong. You know, these plastic screens, they call them thin glass. They will wear out over time. But you know, the Z Fold has been around for, this is the 5th edition. So they've been around for 5 years. I don't know what the one looks like, but I can tell you my Z Fold 5 still looks as good as the day I got it about 6 months ago. But I don't see any issues with it. So as far as durability goes, the foldables, I think they would snap in half a lot easier, and you have to be more careful, especially with the soft screen on the Z Fold. But if you get something like the Surface Duo, it's glass on both sides, so I'm not as concerned as far as durability of this screen breaking as we are on the Z Fold 5. But the interesting thing is about these phones, and even the bar phones these days, they're glass on both sides, so you've got glass that can smash on either side. So glass is really not the ideal thing for durability. But when we go to the bar phones, such as the Pixel 8 Pro, you can see here there is no folding. It's just very rigid, very strong. You can put it in a nice case, and that's another thing. You can protect these better in cases than you can the foldables. So if you're one that tends to drop your phone, and we all do, but if you have a stronger habit than most, you might want to stay with a bar phone. So as far as durability goes, I would give that to the classic bar phones because they don't have all those moving parts. They're going to last a lot longer, I believe, and going to withstand a drop better because of a more rugged frame on these devices. Now, the next one's pretty controversial, the functionality. Which one is better at functionality? So both styles do different things. You've got your bar phones, sometimes they're built with a little more features, and they're the flagships of the manufacturers. And then you have the foldables, which are full screens, larger tablet style phones. So multitasking is much better on a foldable. I'm not going to get into multitasking. There's plenty of videos to show you that. But when it comes to multitasking, these bar phones can't touch these foldables because of the split screening and all kinds of floating windows and all kinds of other features that you can do on these foldables. So on the other end of the spectrum on functionality, you have the flagship phones, the bar phones that they put better hardware in. For example, the cameras. Look at this. Here's a quick rundown of the camera system. I'll just read this off to you. You have the S24 Ultra has a 200 megapixel camera on it. And the Z Fold, its standard camera is 50 megapixel. That's a huge difference. And even more than that, the 200 megapixel camera comes at f1.7. Now this f1.7, that means it takes better lower light shots. It allows more light in to give you more detail in your image. Whereas the Z Fold 5, its 50 megapixel is a 1.8. Not a lot of difference, but you can tell they're just putting a much higher quality camera in the Ultra than the more expensive Z Fold 5. And then next are the zoom cameras. On the Ultra, it gives you a 50 megapixel 5 times optical zoom. And that optical zoom is the best you can get as far as zoom. It's not digital, it's optical as the eye sees it. Versus the Z Fold 5, they only give you a 3-time optical zoom. And this is a 10 megapixel camera versus the 50 megapixel camera. Which one's going to get better quality? By default, the higher megapixel camera. Now on top of that, the S24 Ultra also has a 3-time optical zoom lens, and it's a 10 megapixel, similar to that of the Z Fold. So right there's an additional camera that you get on the Ultra, which is less expensive than the Z Fold. And then both of them having the ultra wide 12 megapixel camera. So they're both about the same on that. And then there's another hardware feature on the Ultra where it can charge at 45 watts, and the Z Fold's stuck at 25, much slower charging when it's wired. Then when you go to wireless, they're both at 15 wireless. So as you can see, there's some similar features, but for the most part, the Ultra will blow away the Z Fold when it comes to camera hardware. So why are you paying $500 more just because it's a foldable? Something you have to weigh and consider whether it's worth it. And then we can say similar things about the Pixel, such as the Pixel 8 Pro versus the Pixel Fold. The Pixel 8 Pro came out with a Tensor 3 chip. The Pixel Fold, which only came up 2 months earlier, came out with the last generation, the Tensor 2 chip. And now today, go ahead and check out the videos. They'll tell you that they're so frustrated that the Pixel Fold now is not getting some of the features that they're putting in even in the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. And they're not giving those to the Pixel Fold. And at the time that the Pixel Fold came out, its cameras were equal to the Pixel 6 Pro. And I know this because I had a 6 Pro at the time and matched them up, and they were pretty much the same. It did not even match up to the 7 Pro's cameras. To give you an example real quick on the cameras, on the Pixel 8 Pro, it's a 50 megapixel 5 times optical zoom lens. And on the Pixel Fold, they gave it a 10.8 megapixel 5 times zoom. What? 50 versus 10 megapixels? That's going to be a huge difference. And again, we have the huge discrepancy in price. You can get the Pixel Pro for $1,000. Now that's with the basic model, the 128 gigabyte hard drive. Now where the Pixel Fold comes in at $1,800 with 256 gigabytes of storage. Now if you went with the 256 gigabytes of storage on the Pixel 8 Pro, now you're at just $1,059. So there's nearly an $800 difference between the Pixel Pro and the Pixel Fold. Is there $800 worth of difference in hardware? I don't think so. So there you have it. As far as features on the two devices, the bar flagships, they're going to beat out the Folds at this time, all the time. Who knows what the future holds? Maybe they'll give more features to the foldables or turn them into flagships. That's what I want to see. So Google, Samsung, all you manufacturers out there, put flagship hardware in these phones. We're paying for it. Now give it to us. Now I just want to get honest with you with truth and reality. Truth and reality. So the Z Fold 5, I would consider it my main phone because I do carry it and I take all my calls on it. It's because I'm in the Samsung ecosystem with the watch and the earbuds. However, the truth is, if I just want to do something quick and easy, even send a text message, I'll grab out my bar phone, the Pixel 8 Pro. If I want to take pictures, I'm going to grab the Pixel 8 Pro. Video, I grab the Pixel 8 Pro. If I just want to look something up real quick on an app, check an email, I grab the Pixel 8 Pro. So the truth is, on a daily basis, I'd say 80% of the time or more, I am grabbing the bar phone. Why? Because it's a larger screen on the outside than the Z Fold, as you can see here clearly. And so the larger real estate makes it easier to go through quick messages, emails, and whatnot. And when I'm working and on the go, it's just so much quicker to pull this out, look at it, and to pull this out, open it up, go through what I'm going to go through to see what I want to see. There's a lot more work with the foldable. Now, I'd be the first to admit that when I went with foldables, and the first foldable I went to with the Surface Duo, and then I went to the Z Fold 4, I thought once I go foldable, I can never go back to a bar phone. But you know what? When I got the Pixel 8 Pro, that kind of proved me wrong, because I didn't realize all the features and the functionality that are in the bar phone you miss when they're not in the foldables. Now, I'd be amiss to not mention that those folks that have the Pixel Fold, they said that that's why they like the Pixel Fold so much, because it had a larger screen. You could do a lot of stuff on the front screen. You didn't have to open it up. And I think that's a great thing. And one of the reasons why I might even consider getting a Pixel Fold 2. However, I refused to get the Pixel Fold 1 simply because I knew it was a first gen. I knew there would be all kinds of issues. What I didn't know is how Pixel was holding it back from all the newer features. So there you have it, folks. Whether you're team foldable, team bar phone, it doesn't matter. We have to all admit that there are pros and cons to each. And whether you want portability, I think they both got it. Durability, you got a winner over here. Functionality, there's pros and cons to both. So you have to narrow down what are your wants, what are your needs to determine which one to get. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and got something out of it. If you did, please smash that like button down below to let me know. And while you're there, leave a comment. Tell me, did you get everything you wanted out of this video? Is there something I missed that you want to share with me? Please do. Because anytime you leave a comment down below, it helps to promote this video to other people on YouTube, which in turn helps the channel out. If you haven't already, while you're down there, go ahead and hit subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content. Thank you for spending this time with me. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and God bless.